Hi guys and ladies, Ramsey here. Welcome to another video. Today I have a early impression. I'm not calling it a first impression because I have worn this fragrance to bed once before, but today's the first day that I've actually given it a full wear. And it's a discontinued fragrance. Surprise, surprise. But it is a Tom Ford, who is a house that started off, just absolute home run bangers. Tom Ford for Men, Tobacco Vanille, Tobacco Oud. These are all, cult classics. Even Oud Wood, their bestseller, is a good fragrance. But this one came out in 2013, and it's called Sahara Noir. Now, let me show you what's written on this. So I actually got this in a trade. It's the only bottle in my collection that I did not buy with my own money, except I have an unboxing today from a brand. So there are a couple more coming that I did not buy with my own money, but I give you my word and my honor that this will not affect the way that I talk about the fragrances. If they are shite, I will say that they're shite. That is my pledge to you good people. But I do have a surprise unboxing coming after this this first impression. So let me show you what it says. It says Tom Ford Golden Tears, and then he put WN, and then WN stands for working name. And it says this, what does it say? This formula predates even its chosen name, Sahara Noir. So he said that this is called Golden Tears and that it was its working name. I have no clue if this is true or if this is a bunch of malarkey that the guy just put on here. I did a swap with him for my bottle of Roja Scandal. And so that's the EDP, the discontinued EDP. So I got this with it. He included this sample with it. And I've given it a wear before, so I realized that this is a good fragrance, but I wanted to give it a real full wear. I wore it to bed, but today's the first day I've given it a full wear. So let me tell you about this fragrance. So this fragrance starts out with this bitter orange and what they call Levantine cypress. And cypress is a very underused note, in my opinion, in perfumery. There's a star of the show. Well, there's actually two stars of the show in this fragrance. One is Cistus labdanum, which gives off this almost this sticky, resinous feel. This is a very resinous fragrance. In the old days, they used to farm labdanum by allowing the goats to go out to the rock rose flower and actually chew on them, and that releases the resins, and it would stick to the beards of the goats. Their beards were a little bit bigger than mine, and it would just get stuck in there, and they would use this special comb. I think it was even called a labdanum comb or brush, and they would actually brush it out of the goat's beard and collect this material, and that would be the labdanum from the rock rose. Rock rose has nothing to do with regular rose, by the way. They are completely different species of plants. There's also a papyrus note in here, so you're getting the idea. Smoky, resinous, papyrus, and then the second star of the show is frankincense. There's also this, there's an oud accord, there's a vanilla accord, but this is not a, don't think about a sweet fragrance. So this fragrance manages to stay completely bone dry. I mean, completely bone dry. And that's how I like my incense fragrances. Oh, this is really good. I really needed this after the shite review that I did with Symphonium. Some people really liked the bad reviews. They said I should do more bad reviews, but I needed a good one. That really just angered me wearing that all day. And this is a winner. This is full bottle worthy, I'll tell you that. 100% full bottle worthy. In fact, shame on you, Tom Ford, for discontinuing this. Also, shame on you for marketing this towards women. This is more than unisex. This is created in 2013, by the way, by Rodrigo Flores Rue. The nose to most of the John Varvato fragrances until they kind of moved on and went through their bankruptcy and did their own thing. So the stars of the show are benzoin, cistus labdanum, and frankincense. Those are kind of the three big ones. Now, I didn't watch many YouTube reviews on this. Actually, I saw there weren't very many YouTube reviews, but I did watch one of my favorite reviewers, Robes08, who said that the opening gives off this ambery feel in the start, and then you get this incense later. I disagree with that. I actually got the incense immediately, but what I got is I got a green incense to begin with. There is I'll tell you what, if I knew how my collection was organized back before I moved it all to this, I would show you a green incense fragrance. Can I see it real quick? No, I have no clue what I did. Ah, here it is. So this is a green incense fragrance that I got from Anouge from Enchante Perfumes, and it's called J. Casanova Pour Homme. This is a very underrated incense. It's a green incense fragrance. That's really what you get, green incense. Literally, that's it. It's very simple, but it's a great fragrance because it works, and it gives a material and a note that I absolutely love. When this starts, when Sahara Noir starts, when it hits my skin instantly, the first thing that I get is green incense with that ambery, resinous, labdanum, you know, maybe a touch of vanilla, but more labdanum. This is one of the best labdanum heavy fragrances I've ever smelled. There's a couple others, of course. The all-time greatest labdanum heavy fragrance to my nose is Le Lion. And then there is also Roja's Haute Luxe, but that's a $3,500 a bottle fragrance. So for me, it's Le Lion all the way. But this is up there. Let me show you a couple fragrances that my nose instantly got reminded of when I wore this for the first time today. This is Gucci Pour Homme 1. The original. Let me turn the light down. I can't figure this light out. This is going to be the death of me. Gucci Pour Homme 1. Discontinued, and you can see I have a little bit of Juice to Cherish. I bought this as a partial. I didn't use all this. But I felt like I needed it as a reference. This has a beautiful incense note. The incense note in this reminds me of Gucci Pour Homme 1, and it also reminds me a touch of this, Incense Extreme by Andy Tower. Now, you're probably thinking of these Andy Tower bottles. This is Lone Star Memories. There's a touch of Lone Star Memories in Sahara Noir as well. This is the Pentagon Andy Tower bottle. This is what the old bottles used to look like. And Incense Extreme is one of my favorite just out and out incense fragrances. I love this fragrance. And there's very little that can compete with Incense Extreme to my nose. Sahara Noir does. It does compete with Incense Extreme, but there's a lot more going on than just a smoky incense fragrance. What I really like about Sahara Noir is how it starts out with this green take on incense to my nose, and then as it goes down, it's almost like the incense is burning. It's almost like you start out with an unlit incense stick, and you've lit it, and you watch it burn all the way down, and as it burns, it gets smokier and smokier and smokier, but it never goes full smoke bomb. You know, it never goes like an out and out, you know, smoke bomb where it's just too much. It's very well balanced, and that's the key to the success of Sahara Noir, I think, is the fact that it's definitely a winter fragrance. It's going to be 60 degrees here in Texas today, so I'm trying to get as many wears of stuff like this in as I can before it's 100, which will happen in no time. But I will tell you that I really like what I smell here. There is a downside, though, and that's that now that this is discontinued, this is a very expensive fragrance. Very expensive. In the secondary market, the eBay scalpers are out full force. And so for somebody like me, let me show you another fragrance that, you know, is a bit, will remind you of, obviously, Lone Star Memories I showed, and then L'air du Désert Marocain. This is very reminiscent of Andy Tower's work to me for some reason. Sahara Noir gives me big Andy Tower vibes. That smoky, resinous feel, big tower vibes, especially the ones I like. I like Andy Tauer's earlier work, like Lone Star Memories, Lady Desert Moroccan, and Incense Extreme. And so Sahara Noir falls into that category. It's a 2013 release that is now discontinued, sadly. So that's pretty much my take. It's very well balanced. If you're a papyrus lover, by the way, there is a papyrus note in this, but it's not like the papyrus note is overdone. Papyrus is a note that can be overdone. There's a papyrus note in Gucci Pour Homme 1 that's very well balanced as well. There's also a papyrus note in, there's a Javoy fragrance called Private Label that has a beautiful papyrus note. And the papyrus will remind you of some of those fragrances. And it's very easy to be overdone. Papyrus to me needs to be almost done in a way where, you know, papyrus is a thin piece of paper or a scroll. It needs to be put into the fragrance that way, like a thin line. It shouldn't take over the fragrance, and that's how it's done here. Beautiful fragrance. Really impressed, but I love incense. I'm a huge fan of incense fragrances. But I have a lot of them is the problem. So would I pay $500 a bottle for this? No. Would I pay $400 a bottle for this? No. Would I pay $300 a bottle for this? Maybe. Would I pay $200 a bottle for this? Absolutely. So there's a balance that has to be met. I would love a bottle, but I would love a bottle without being raked over the coals. Is it full bottle worthy for me? Absolutely. This is a great fragrance, and I wish they would bring it back. Tom Ford, they're a house that seems to have lost their way over the years. Whenever they released Ebene Fume, or Fume, or however you say it, last year in 2021, everyone was saying, oh, this is going to be Sahara Noir. All the people who know fragrances just want Tom Ford to do what Tom Ford did best in the past. Why are they releasing stuff like Ebony Fume that smells like Gucci Pour Homme 1 when they could just re-release Sahara Noir in a signature line and make it unisex and it would sell like hotcakes? I mean, I don't understand what Tom Ford is, I don't understand what they're going for. But needless to say, this is a gem. It is to be, you know, as you can see, I put a little bit of a dent in my decant, but it will be cherished and worn, and I'll use up every single drop of this because this is amazing stuff. Everything from the cinnamon to the labdanum to the frankincense, it's all beautiful, and I wish they would bring it back. So that's part one of the video. A good first impression. That was needed after Symphonium. My God. What a terrible fragrance that was. Part two is an unboxing. I already ripped into it, as you can see. So let me tell you a little bit of background on this. This is a package from Arige Ladore from Russian Atom. And I did a first impression video on his Ottoman Empire 2, I believe it was. And he actually watched that video that day and wrote me and said, hey, I would love for you to sample more of our stuff. And I said, I would love to sample more of your stuff, but understand I reserve the right to speak my mind about it, good, bad, or indifferent. And he was agreeable to that. I even sent the email to Rich Mitch. He can verify it. And so he said, I'll be glad to send you some stuff. And I said, only samples. No full bottles. I don't want full bottles. So this is what I got. Samples from Arige Ladore. So here we are. Here we go. There are the Arige Ladore samples. Maybe I should have asked for full bottles. Just kidding. I don't want you guys to think that, you know, the whole point of this channel is to speak my mind and my truth, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, whether people like it or not. And I would never sell that. You know, my thoughts are not for sale. Let's put it that way. My opinion on the channel is not for sale, and I would never want you guys to think that a bottle of perfume would change my mind, which, by the way, hopefully you can see I have 600 bottles of perfume behind me. Hopefully you can see that a bottle, even if he did send me a free bottle, would not change my mind. I have more than enough fragrances where I don't need brands to send me free bottles. Oh my God. That being said, there are some fragrances in here. What do we have? We've got Manly, which I know was one that the Wafts from the Lofts guys did not really like. So that's Manly. And then we have Oud Zen. I don't know any of these, by the way. This is not my preferred space to play in. I like vintage and some niche. Arise Ladore is a brand that I did sample some of their stuff. Here's War and Peace. I guess this is War and Peace 1. There's no, 2 listed, so I'm guessing this is War and Peace 1. It's a brand that I didn't think I really got on with or appreciated. I thought I was more of a Bortnikov guy. But after smelling some of his fragrances like Russian Oud or Siberian Musk, I should say. Siberian Musk, Russian Oud, and Ottoman Empire, they really started to change my mind. Some of the newer things from him that I smelled, Gardenia and whatever that collection was, I got some samples and I was not the biggest fan. And so smelling some of this, Civet de Nuit, I think that's the new one that the Wafts from the Lofts guy were talking about. Civet de Nuit. And god damn it, every single one of these falls every time I put it down. Now the YouTube algorithm is gonna like cancel my channel there because I swore. We've got Oud Picante. We have Chinese Oud. Okay, that's one that I saw. Ooh, that's pretty potent. That's when I saw somebody shell out $1,000 for a bottle or something. And then we've got Antiquity. So, here you go. I have so many first impressions to do. You guys have no idea. I still have like fragrances that Jonathan B. Swift sent me. Eddie, thank you very much. I have fragrances that Jonathan 1970 sent me. Jonathan, thank you very much. I have samples that Rich Mitch sent me that I haven't even got to. I have samples that DL Qualia sent me that I have to do first impressions on. And now I have a Arise Ladore sample. So I will, every time, I will be doing first impressions on these. Some of them I might wear them as my scent of the day and just do a video like I did today, like with Sahara Noir. Or if you believe the working name, Golden Tears. I don't know if that's true or not, but we'll... and I will, or maybe I'll just wear a normal fragrance and then spray this on at the end of the day and kind of give you guys a first impression. But needless to say, somebody wrote me and said, I hope you don't put out so many videos that you run out of content. And I can assure you that I am not going to run out of content. I have so many videos in my head that I want to do. But what I love the most is interacting with you guys. By the way, Russian Adam, thank you. If you're watching this video, thank you for the samples. That was very thoughtful of you. I think when you reached out, I had like 300 subscribers. Not that I have a lot of subscribers now, but I like the fact that I consider myself like a niche vintage channel, you know? You have to really work to find me. And so I really appreciate you sending these my way. You know, obviously you saw that I was a fragrance lover and would appreciate it. And if a couple people got to hear my thoughts, great. You weren't doing it for the publicity so much, I assume, because maybe only a couple hundred people might see this. But either way, I will give you guys my honest opinion on these as I always do. And the interaction is the thing that I love the most. So let me know what you think of Sahara Noir. Let me know what you think of some of these Bortnikoffs or these Aries Ladores. If you have familiarity with them. I know nothing about these, so I'm coming to these as a complete outsider, just a fragrance lover, and so you'll be getting first impressions on these soon. And I appreciate you guys watching as always. I love seeing your faces in the comments. I love the interaction. A like and a subscription is appreciated, but you don't have to if you don't feel like it. But I do appreciate you sharing some time with me and watching. And I will be back again tomorrow with another fragrance video. Cheers. Bye, guys.